Okay, so my name is Fiorella DiCarlo, and I'm a registered dietitian and a chef.
Great. So tell me a little bit about what are you known for? Because you have a lot of videos.
Yes, so I'm known for healthy cooking, but I do it my way. I do it the Italian way. I was born in Italy, so I would learn to cook from an Italian mother. And, just from scratch, five ingredients, throwing food, yelling, screaming, and finally a delicious product at the end. But I'm also a registered dietitian, so I can kind of speak to anything about food, really. The way it's metabolized, what it does in your body, how to increase the bioavailability of vitamins and minerals in the cooking process. So I have degrees in all of that as well. So I can do both.
Okay, and then we're going to talk about the beef Wellington.
Yes. Okay. So the beef Wellington, I can certainly make a great beef Wellington. Love it. Except that the reason why I haven't done it so recently, the beef Wellington, is I generally am a really, really, really certified carnivore, and I like it raw, and I like my meat unencumbered by other things. So technically, I don't choose to put a puff pastry around any of my meat, but I certainly can, and I can do it very well.
So how do you feel about competing? Have you ever done any food competitions?
Only with my sisters. And the competition is stiff. We are trying to see who can mimic my mom's Neapolitan meatballs. And those are really authentic. I mean, really soft and perfect, kind of a fall off the bone meat ragu that we make every Sunday. So we've competed, and so far I'm ahead, but not a professional competition, no.
Food seems to be all encompassing for you. So, I mean, my question would be, what does it take to make a great chef? But for
Mhm.
you, I'd say, what does it take to be are you an instructor? Like, what would you consider yourself?
So, I have two postgraduate degrees in the psychology of eating too, because I treat eating disorders actually. So that part of, my work and my degrees also kind of lend to the psychology of food. So while eating disorders is one extreme, I can also understand the love and the beauty of food that can attract people. So when I cook, I kind of incorporate those ideas of texture and aroma and the beauty of the aesthetics of food. And I love to stick to whole foods that grow out of the ground or from trees or walk around, as opposed to processed foods, because I feel like we've moved too far away from our natural state of eating.
Now, do you consider yourself a competitive person?
Oh God, yes. Oh yes, absolutely. I have to win. There is no other alternative but to win. And if I ever lose, that'll be the last time I do that. That'll be the last time that'll happen. For
On
sure.
top of it, you said the words, I'm from Italy, which I find Italians very proud about when it comes to cooking and food.
Yes, and now while they're not known to be competitive per se, they're kind of relaxed in the cappuccino breaks and so forth. That's where I get my competitive nature from being a New Yorker. But then I get my love and my romanticism of food from being Italian, and they are very passionate about it. And each region has their own dialect and each region has their own cuisine, which is so interesting. I love it. And so I learned a lot about that through my travels there as well.
And what would you consider your greatest culinary accomplishment so far?
Again, I have to, because I've had to do it for years and years and years and years, is to try to mimic my mother's meatballs, honestly, because they're just so perfect. And the thing is we're not just talking meatballs here. We're talking about the whole shebang. I mean, we can our own tomatoes in September. We can them, and we make our own tomato sauce from scratch. So there's nothing we don't buy store-bought tomato sauce. So I mean, the whole thing has to be perfection.
And I love you're like, we can our tomatoes. Well, today they call that artisanal.
Yeah, so we call it, having to do it because my grandmother made me.
Because she grew the tomatoes.
She grew the tomatoes in the backyard. Exactly, exactly.
And what's something we wouldn't know about you?
Let's see. I mean, well, I pretty much told you I was born in Italy, and I speak fluent Italian. I'm also a very nifty salsa dancer, and I studied 5 years Middle Eastern dance.